Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. We'll start with the headlines. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approves forwarding the state's general budget for the fiscal year 2018 to the Council of Ministers. The Sultanate makes significant progress in the Global Competitiveness Index in the 2017-2018 competition report, moving up with 4 points. The Jibreen-Ibri dual road is officially open for traffic movement. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in details. His Excellency Sher Bahadur Diouba, Prime Minister of Nepal, and his accompanying delegation left the Sultanate this morning after a successful 4-day visit, during which they discussed mutual cooperation aspects with a number of officials. The guest was seen off upon departure by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Ftaisi, Minister of Transport and Communications, and a number of their Excellencies, the members of the Honor Mission accompanying the guest, Nepalese ambassador accredited to the Sultanate, and members of the embassy. Dr. Dush Bahatasai, advisor of the Prime Minister's Affairs for Nepal at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, praised the wise policy adopted by the Sultanate under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and its role in supporting security and stability on the regional and international levels, expressing their thanks to the Sultanate's government and people for the generous hospitality they received. During a press conference which was held in Grand Hayat, Muscat, Bahatsai said that this visit marks the 14th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between the Sultanate and Nepal, stressing on the strong bilateral relations binding the two countries in different domains. He further explained that the talks conducted by the Nepalese Premier with His Highness Said Fahd were fruitful, confirming that the two friendly countries dedicated a mutual attention for the enhancement of the existing cooperation fields.
They are also contributing back home.
The Sultanate signed a Memorandum of Understanding for political consultations with Nepal. The signing of the MOU aims to boost the bilateral relations between the two countries and to exchange views on mutual concern in political and economical issues on the regional and international arena. The MOU was signed by the Sultanate side by His Excellency Ambassador Sheikh Hilal bin Marhoon Al-Ma'mari, head of the West Asia Department at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Nepalese side by Her Excellency Ambassador Sarmila Barogoli Damakal of the Republic of Nepal, accredited to the Sultanate. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approved forwarding the state's general budget for the fiscal year 2018 to the Council of Ministers. In its 5th meeting of the year, the Council discussed the latest developments in the economic and international situation and their impact on the national economy and the state's finance, including oil price trends for the foreseeable future. The Council also reviewed the report made by the state's Financial Center till the end of August 2017, the actual position of the price achieved for oil in revenues, levels of expenditure, and the deficit. The Council further studied estimates of revenues and expenses, the budget deficit, and the suggested finance means to cover the deficit in light of these developments, as well as the necessary precautions to prevent the increasing deficit of the budget and to ensure stability of expenditure. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Darwish bin Ismail bin Ali Al-Blushi, Minister responsible for Financial Affairs and Deputy Chairman of the Council. The Sultanate maintained for the 2nd consecutive year the 2nd position in the Arab nations in the World Food Security Index 2017 issued by the British Economist magazine. The Sultanate obtained the 28th position worldwide with 73.9 points and came right after Kuwait. The index gave the Sultanate 100 points in the indicators of availability of safety net programs, 100 points in the degree of public expenditure on agricultural research and development, 83.5 in the customs tariffs on agriculture imports, and 75 points in obtainment of funds for farmers. Oman has made significant progress in the Global Competitiveness Index, ranking 62nd in the 2017-2018 competition report, up 4 points from the previous report. The Sultanate ranked 3rd in the lowest cost index of organized crime on business worldwide and 1st on the Gulf level, and ranked 5th in the world in the least inexpensive index of crime and violence on businesses. The Sultanate also ranked 6th worldwide in Tax Impact Index on incentives for work, and 9th in Tax Impact Index on investment incentives, and 10th in the least waste of government spending. At the level of sub-indicators of the report, the Sultanate achieved a remarkable performance, ranking 14th in the world and 2nd in the GCC countries in the Road Quality Index, and 13th in the Mobile Phone Subscription Index, and the 1st Gulf Index in the number of procedures to start economic activities and time required to start an economic activity. Oman has made progress in the indicators of inflation and imports as a percentage of GDP and total national savings in terms of GDP, the rate of enrollment in university education, and the rate of enrollment in basic education. Oman is among the top 10 countries in the world as the least countries with AIDS among adults. After the completion of paving 47 kilometers, the Jibri-Ibreen dual road is officially opened for traffic movement. The road, which was designed with high specifications and measurements, is considered one of the vital roads that will link the governorate of Dakhiliya with the governorate of Dhahira. It will activate economic and touristic aspects and increase the social contact among the peoples of the governorates. All traffic safety regulations and weather conditions were taken into account in designing all parts of this project. Construction of the second phase of the Mirror project, which is one of the biggest solar-powered steam plants in the world, was started. The first phase of the project, located in the south of Petroleum Development Oman's concession area, is expected to be open before the end of the current year. The project's production capacity will reach 1,021 megawatts. After the project's completion, it will annually provide more than 5 trillion thermal units of natural gas, which can be benefited to provide electricity to households for a population of more than 209,000 in the Sultanate. Petroleum Development Oman announced the success of manufacturing the biggest containers of acid gas separation unit. The manufacturing of the containers took 16 months and it was designed and built by Omani manpower, with the projects of separating the carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide from the natural gas. The container is one of the 21 huge containers built by the Special Technical Services Company, besides 14 other containers which are being built by the Arabian Industries Company in Sohar. And still to come in our news bulletin. More than 100 Omani companies participate in the exhibition of Omani industries and products in Qatar. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The UN said today that the number of Syrians receiving aid had increased significantly, labeling it the biggest humanitarian operation of this generation. The number of people living in besieged areas had decreased, said Jan Egeland, the special advisor to the UN Special Envoy for Syria. And while some groups were still hard to reach, aid was now getting to 7 to 9 million Syrians each month. Despite this improvement, Egeland said that the most worrying recent developments of the ongoing civil war was the targeting of civilians and humanitarian workers. The special envoy, who was speaking following a meeting of the Humanitarian Access Task Force of the International Syria Support Group in Geneva, said that the civilians living under areas controlled by the Daesh group were particularly vulnerable. Multiple international airlines announced today that they will suspend flights to and from Erbil, the capital of Iraq's Kurdish region, after the Kurds angered Baghdad and Iraq's neighbors by holding an independence referendum this week. Iraq's Transport Ministry ordered international airlines to halt services to Erbil, the Kurdish regional capital, and Suleymaniya, its second city, beginning tomorrow evening. Many foreigners left the region today ahead of the ban, fearful they would not be able to leave. The Kurdish region's election commission told a news conference yesterday that the referendum passed with more than 92% of voters approving independence. The turnout was over 72%. More than 120,000 people have fled the region around the Mount Agong volcano on the Indonesian tourist island of Bali. featuring it will soon erupt. An official at the Disaster Mitigation Agency command post in Bali said the number of evacuees has swelled to about 122,500. Some evacuees have been reluctant to move, but now feel they have no choice. Evacuees are scattered in more than 500 locations across the island, famed for its beaches and lush green interior. The volcano has been at its highest alert level since Friday, sparking a massive exodus of villagers. An exclusion zone around the mountains extends as far as 12 kilometers from the crater in places, but officials say people farther from the volcano are leaving too. Agong, which dominates the landscape in the northeast of the islands, last erupted in 1963, killing more than 1,100 people. It remained active for about a year. More than 100 Omani companies preserved the location in the exhibition of the Omani Industries and Products OPEX, which was held in the Qatari capital Doha, to showcase a number of Omani products. The exhibition is considered as a gate for a number of Omani small and medium-sized companies to expand in new markets at the regional level, especially the Qatari market, which is considered as one of the fastest growing markets at the regional level. The exhibition of Omani products formed the Sultanate and Qatar's keenness to support levels of coordination among them at the government and private arenas to build fruitful investment and commercial partnerships. The commercial movement between the Sultanate and Qatar has witnessed a noticeable development in the volume of commercial exchange, which came as a translation for exchange visits between Omani and Qatari businessmen. The Sultanate participated in the 52nd version of the International Exhibition for Stones, Architecture, Design and Technology of Stone Manufacturing, Mermomac, in the Verona city in Italy. The participation aimed to enhance Omani non-oil export in the Italian and European markets. ITHRA participation came to enhance competitiveness of Omani products participating in the field of stones industry, in addition to providing Omani marble and stones in the regional and international markets. 10 projects won the first position in Tasweeq, or the marketing initiative for small and medium-sized institutions. The winners list included a number of entrepreneurs at various sectors where their institutions are able to achieve good profits. The initiative, powered by Oman Oil Company in cooperation with a Raft Fund to support small and medium-sized enterprises, which celebrated the conclusion of its first version and announced the second. More than 10 million Omani Riyals is the value of purchasing in the central wholesale market for fish in the wilaya of Barka, with a total of more than 12 million tons since its opening. This increase reflects the noticeable growth of trading movement in the market through the electronic procedures followed and attention to the quality of the fish in the market. An orientation ceremony was held in the Governorate of Al Buraimi to introduce the Ru'ya Award for Youth Initiative in its 5th version. The award aims to enhance the field of scientific innovation and stress the importance of building and developing Omani youth's ability in various fields. The categories of the award this year cover 8 main fields in electronics, robots, renewable energy, food security, arts, visual media, innovation, and societal services. The importance of pharmacists' role in improvement of healthcare and patient safety topped the ceremony, which was held in the Wilaya of Sahara on the occasion of the World Pharmaceutical Day, which came this year under the theme, Pharmacist is in your service, from scientific research until healthcare. The celebration aims to raise awareness of the visitors with the pharmacist's role in healthcare and encourage society to ask for pharmaceutical advice. The Director General for Health Services in the Governorate of North Batna stressed that it's established a number of developing projects, mainly activation of scanners in pharmacies, and issues a magazine entitled Pharmacist Today. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies. Winds will be southerly to southeasterly light to moderate, and the seas will be moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approves forwarding the state's general budget for the fiscal year 2018 to the Council of Ministers. The Sultanate makes significant progress in the Global Competitiveness Index in the 2017-2018 competition report, moving up with 4 points. The Jibreen Ibri Dual Road is officially opened for traffic movement. With that, we come to an end to tonight's news bulletin from all of us here at the newsroom and the studios. Good night.